Hello there everyone, just a quick video following up from yesterday's video on the spring statement. One thing that wasn't trumpeted in the headlines, wasn't on the news, wasn't anywhere really, was the change to self-employed national insurance. So all the headlines was about employees' national insurance and employers, so class 1 national insurance. But what about if you are self-employed? Now I did a read through the whole spring statement issued by the Treasury, contained all sorts of info on, state of the economy and everything else. But getting to the nitty gritty, the one thing that I wanted to highlight in this video, which wasn't on yesterday's or indeed anywhere else, was the national insurance for self-employed. So remember, if you're self-employed, you pay two lots of national insurance, class 2s and class 4s. And class 2s is a flat rate and it's £3 a week. So 156 quid a year, isn't it? 52 weeks. Now, that forms part of your basis for your pension. In other words, it's contributory. That you have to pay your class 2 to get a credit for state pension purposes. The other national insurance that self-employed pay is class 4. And class 4 has nothing to do with the state pension, even though that is a lot more money. It's just another tax, as really all national insurance is. So the class 4, you pay a percentage of your self-employed profits over a certain level, and it's 9%. So class 4 national insurance can be many, many thousands of pounds a year if you're self-employed. Class 2 national insurance will never exceed the £156. So what's changed? What happened yesterday in the spring statement, buried in the detail, was the point at which you are liable to pay class 2s increases. So a bit like on the Herald, the heralded announcements, the headline changes that the class 1, if you're an employee, the point at which you've got to start paying goes up. Similarly for class 2 for self-employed, it won't apply if your profits are at certain levels. Now, what we've got with self-employed national insurance is two different levels. You've got the point at which class 2 kicks in and the point at which class 4 kicks in. And like anything, it's so complicated. You think they make life easy, but they haven't done. And one is a totally different level to the other. So historically, you had to earn profits of this, then class 2 kicked in. But actually, the class 4 didn't kick in until you earned profits of a higher level. What they did yesterday was to say, look, we're going to basically align these things so that the class 2 will kick in only if you earn profits of a certain amount. So what is the amount? Well, these are the rates coming in from the 6th of April. The amount, class 2, it's called the small profits threshold. They all have names for these various levels in the national insurance world. The small profits level, 6,725. So before the announcement, if you had you were self-employed and you had profits in excess of 6,725, that's when the flat rate £3 a week kicks in for class 2. Now, what they announced yesterday, or buried in the detail rather, is that threshold jumps to what we call the lower annual profits limit. Again, it's just a made up by the government, made up name for a certain profit level, £9,880. So small profits threshold 6,725, lower annual profits limit 9,880. If you're self-employed, your class 2 national insurance will only start if you have profits more than 9,880. So here's the thing though, like I said right at the start of the video, class 2's contributory, class 4's aren't. In other words, class 2's make a difference for your pension. You've got to pay them to get that qualifying year. So here's the thing, you may say, oh, well, let's say if you're not having a good year self-employed wise and you don't make just shy of 10 grand profits, but you make somewhere between the old limit and the new limit. You think, well, that's great, I don't have to pay any class 4 national insurance. Well, yes, that's true, but the point is it's only 150 quid a year, there or thereabouts, 156. So for the sake of the rates going up, and you no longer have to pay it because the Chancellor said, look, you're not earning enough profit, we're not going to make you pay this £156 a year, you may and would probably be wise to still pay it because it's getting you that qualifying year for state pension, which I've done stacks of videos on that. What is a qualifying year? Remember, you need 35 years to get your full state pension. So just because the government said, oh, well, if you're not earning that certain level, you don't have to pay into the system, you may think, well, hang on, for the sake of 156 quid, I don't want to have an extra year that I've got to work to get the state pension. So you would still pay voluntary national insurance contributions. And again, I've done videos on that, but just something to bear in mind. If you are self-employed and your profits are of a modest level, that you will be now delaying the point at which you will be liable for class 2s. So even though you don't hit it, you may still think about wanting to pay some class 2s just to lock in that year for your state pension. So if you like this video, please do subscribe, and I'll see you soon.